to Research Business Daily Report, where market researchers come for news, insights, and commentary about the research field. We provide them with knowledge and other assorted valuable information that can help them because they impact both them inside and outside their current place of business. On RBDR today, a few weeks ago, we reviewed and also commented about a Market Research Society presentation that suggested that the industry could deal with one of its biggest problems by dropping the words market research from departments and from titles. Today we have a second look at that in an interview with a brand marketing consultant who has thrived with C-suiters by using an alternative description for the research work that she knows she has to do. RBDR is sponsored today and this week by video testimonial service from RFL Communications. We know that every company has a list of highly satisfied and loyal customers, and these happy customers are normally very pleased to allow you to post their logo on your website as a sign of their appreciation for your work. And that's nice. But we've got a new marketing and promotional tool that research companies can use to stoke new business, and I'm talking about raising revenues and profits. We call it the Video Testimonial Service. It delivers a wholly new marketing dimension for research agencies and research vendors using video testimonials, which combine a highly effective content form, namely video, and a highly effective content type, the testimonial. We bring to life enjoyable customer content in a format that other customers increasingly are willing to engage with. The RFL Testimonial Video Service has been created and will use your guidance. You tell us which customer you want us to speak with, and you point out to us that customer-specific problem that you help them overcome. And this will incorporate relevant, digestible, and believable information that will be of interest to others. And then we apply our 23 years of research experience by speaking with those customers that you have selected. What's the value of our video testimonial service? Well, let's start with your website, which is specifically designed to attract attention to what you do and to drive requests for information about your services and products. Research clearly shows that customer testimonials are twice as impactful as a case history, and case histories tend to predominate on websites. Your testimonial that we'll help you with will be a candid, sincere, relatable, and motivational endorsement of the product and service that you're most interested in. And you will find that it is far more persuasive than anything that you want to say about yourself. Video testimonials have increased click-through rates. They will provide more conversions, they'll generate leads, and greatly contribute to purchase decisions. You'll receive multiple versions of your video testimonial from us, a 30, a 60, maybe even a 90-second or longer version. And you'll get it in about 1 week's time at a price you can well afford, about $2,000 for the first testimonial. That's about half what you would expect to pay. A good testimonial is great as a posting all over your website, on your homepage, on a special testimonial page, even on a sales page and a contact page. And you can also incorporate it as part of your standard marketing presentation, even put it in your conference booth for the next research exhibit that you take care of. Learn more by clicking on the testimonial link at the top of the rflonline.com website. And then let's discuss your situation. You can either email me or you can give me a call directly. Either way, I look forward to getting together with you. Deb Gabor has run a brand marketing consultancy in Austin, Texas since 2003, and she describes her customer base as exciting mid-cap companies that do between $50 million to $1 billion a year. Now, Gabor says that research is just not in her business vocabulary, and frankly, her reasons are nothing new, but they are continuing food for thought that we may be less and less be capable of ignoring, and I'll let her explain.
You do use research, do actually conduct research either on your own or through auspices that you have. But you shy away from the word research, and instead, what do you call it?
We call it discovery.
And why is that?
Well, the word research has almost become, I don't want to say it's a dirty word, but it's kind of become a little bit taboo. This just comes from my experience over the last 15 or so years working directly with clients and trying to create success stories for them. Research plays a really important role, but research as a department in a lot of the fast-moving dynamic industries that we work in, research doesn't have a strategic seat at the decision-making table for big marketing decisions so much anymore. So sometimes we have to make it take a back seat.
So you are really reflecting what management thinks of research in using the word discovery. But why do they accept the word discovery?
We cast it in such a way where we say that it's part of the process. It's not the whole process. So, we talk about it as, my whole thing, I'm a brand strategist and we're out there, we're recommending strategies for organizations to, kind of unfurl some of the big problems of business. And so that's a strategic exercise. And we talk about research being one step in that process and the research really is discovery, but that discovery, it happens not always in formal ways. And we have found that a lot of our clients I work mostly with somebody who has a C in their title. Some of the companies that we work with, Fresh Direct on the East Coast, which is an online grocer, which is going through a lot of changes there. I've worked with a lot of household name brands like Dell and Microsoft, a lot of media companies, specifically NBC Universal, and mostly with all of their media properties that are not branded NBC. I've also worked with a lot of what I would consider to be digital media titans like All Recipes, which is now owned by Meredith. I've worked with publications like Every Day with Rachel Ray. I mean, these are a lot of recognizable household name brands. But we also have a practice where we work with early stage companies and emerging brands, emerging technologies and business models, helping them tell their stories to the marketplace. And we use research for them, usually on a pretty downscaled version. But, we've sort of honed this craft by working with lots and lots of organizations like that. We're hired by somebody who's at a very high level in the company that has everything at stake to answer a question or make a big splash, or, there's a lot at risk. And in many cases, research and the research department has been seen as an organization that's slowing things down. That, if they're doing really good research, it takes a long time. It's too fast to get to answers. There's not a lot of context to it. The research is just kind of thrown over the fence, and then people are left sort of scratching their heads trying to figure out, what do we do with this? Where's the answer? People are really looking for answers. Okay. And they're looking for answers. They're looking for decisions. And market research departments, and this is not to bag on market research departments, but this really has been my experience. And the reason why I've left market research departments behind as a customer is they are not talking the language of marketers. They're not talking the language of brands. They're not talking the language of customers. And that really dilutes their ability to add value to the process.
That's interesting. So when you use the word discovery, you're still talking about, all the basic tools in the research toolbox. You're just, kind of collecting it under a different name umbrella.
Absolutely. I think clients are less scared when I come in and I tell them, okay, so step one in the process is discovery. And that's where we get a 360-degree view of your brand and your products and your customers. And, usually what that means is, if this is a typical engagement, a brand engagement, it includes like an AA and U study. It probably includes some kind of qualitative, whether that's online or it's in-person qualitative. It could be ethnography. It could be focus groups. It could be IDIs. It could be like online discussion board research, basically sort of going and responding not only to people's like digital body language, but actually looking in their eyes and seeing, what they say and with what degree of enthusiasm and passion they're saying it and things like that. When we talk about it that way versus talking about like, we're going to do a study and we're going to get 1,000 completes and then we're going to do a cluster analysis and then we're going to do a factor analysis, whatever, they glaze over. They're like, this reminds me of business school. I don't want to think about this. What I'm really interested in are what are the insights that come out of this that then I can take forward into the next step in the process, which really is sort of like the strategy building and consensus building and alignment and decision making.
But the first time that you talk to a customer and you bring up the word discovery, does anybody ever say to you, oh, you mean research, you're just calling it discovery?
Oh, sure, sometimes. I mean, one of my big clients, I work with the University of Texas, the McCombs School of Business. And so, like, talk about a high stakes client, right? These are the people who teach business people how to be business people. These are marketing professors and deans and professors of market research and things like that. And so, yeah, I come in, I'm talking about discovery, and they're like, all right, cut the BS, Deb. This is really research, right? In this case, for this particular client, that research has to be very rigorous, and it has to be, everything has to be really, really dialed in. This is not like 1,000 respondent survey. This is a 3,000 respondent survey, right? This is not, 25 depth interviews and 5 focus groups. This is 190 depth interviews and, 30 focus groups, right? So, in cases where the client is very, very sophisticated or very, very business oriented, yeah, I'll be very straight up and we'll talk about the research methodologies. In other cases, honestly, especially with these sort of mid-cap, high-growth companies and dynamic industries, they just want to hear that I'm going to get answers. I'd love to do qualitative to help inform the development of the quantitative survey. And then I'd like to do, after the quantitative, I'd like to do more qualitative so I can add color and texture to what I just learned. And then after we actually do strategy, I want to test strategy quantitatively and qualitatively. And then after we do creative and design, I want to test all that kind of stuff too so I can help them make decisions. Not everyone has the stomach, the budget, or the time for that. So really our job as strategists is to figure out, what is the minimally viable product from a discovery perspective that's going to get them to the answers that they need, and then how do we get them into market so that they can test and iterate. So yeah, we run up some pretty big bills. Frankly, I don't make a lot of money on the research part of those projects because, like you said, we do some of that research ourselves, but we do a lot of that through our auspices, as you say, and so I can only mark that up so much. But the great value they get from us is, what do we do with that? And then how do we build agreement and alignment on the ideas that come out of that then become strategies that get enacted in market?
Okay. Final question, and the one for people of my age. Are you related to Jaja or to Ava?
Neither, actually. Related to Magda.
And she is what to you?
Grandmother.
She's your grandmother. Okay.
By the way, Deb Gabor has a new book provocatively titled Branding is Sex, and it has received some very good reviews. We'll talk about that in a follow-up discussion with her in the very near future. That's your Research Business Daily Report. We hope you have a great research day and that the rest of your week goes well, and that we hope that you will also have a nice weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next Monday.